Welcome back to Fak'd TV News and Unorthodox Sales. This is Gregory Higgins, and you are turned on and into the place where you can find the only real fake news that matters today, and also find the newest and most innovative products of this century. And later in the show, I'll be having an exclusive interview with the savior of the Christian world. But until then, with us today are my anchorman on my left,
Mike Cirre here with the up-to-date spiritual news, how spending more time drinking in a bar can improve your health, and why assault weapon owners are breathing a sigh of relief.
and on my right,
Jeff Semperman back again with explosive rights activists, where to find hallucinogenic frogs in Vermont, and evidence suggesting that Godzilla may have awakened.
until then, Mike Cirre is going to open up with something new and what he calls the spiritual news.
And tonight, I am going to open up with the spiritual news.
Mike, I've never heard of spiritual news before. This has got to be something new.
No, Greg. The news of the spirit is something that is as old as time.
As old as time. Okay.
It is very important that we all get in touch with the spirit of the news and let the spirits run in and through us.
Oh yeah, the spirits run through us. Have you been drinking the spirits, Mike?
Yes, drinking in the spirits of the news that run through our universe.
Yes. The news should be running through our universe, but it's not, because you're spiritually slooping through our time slot where we would normally relay the news to our TV viewers.
I feel the news is coming through now, and the news is that we are all in grave danger.
Grave danger.
Yes, grave danger, because our country is being taken over and run by a blabbermouth oligarch wannabe.
Oligarch wannabe.
Yes, oligarch wannabe, ruler of the world. The spirits want to know how and why there are so many spirits seeking asylum in countries foreign to them. The spirits want to know where they should go, because they are no longer welcome in the place they call home. The place they want to get to is a place where they can live in peace and harmony, a place where they can eat and drink, work and bathe like a normal human being, raise their children without worries of murder and starvation, a place where they can live productive lives and have a bright future for their children with a proper education.
That place they described sounds a lot like the United States, except for a little school shooting here and there. That would be right here.
Yes, right
Well,
here.
well, why can't they get what they want where they live now?
Because they are under the control of unruly rulers.
Unruly rulers?
Yes, unruly rulers. The spirits say that the unruly rulers have to care for what the people want or their needs. The unruly rulers only care about what they want, and they have far more than they'll ever need.
Why is it they need so much?
I think it's because they're empty inside.
Yes, that's right. Empty inside. An emptiness so big it can never be filled, no matter how many followers follow them, or possessions they possess, or beautiful women they have.
That sounds good. I'd like to have a piece of that action.
Yes, it sounds good, but it's not reality. Reality is learning how to be fulfilled with your own being before adding on your unnecessary necessities, like spice to your food or butter on your bread. We all have a desire to have the spice of life. Why should these refugees be any different? The spirits say they are working through Facebook, but it's not enough. They say democracy is on its way to a terminal end. Dictatorships are making a strong comeback, and it's happening right here in our ununited states.
You mean right here in our ununited states? A dictatorship?
Yes, right here. The spirits say the ununited states and other formerly democratic countries are turning into family-run authoritarian businesses.
How can this be? How can we stop this?
You can't. The tide of authoritarianism is driven by its empty-hearted, blind followers that believe hate will conquer their fear of the unknown.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it's not good. The spirits say the only thing that might break the spell woven by the lies of autocratic leaders is a massive shock of pain and destruction, or a massive shock of love.
A massive shock, such as a nuclear exchange with North Korea, Iran, and Russia, might stop the dictatorship but create its own problems. Shock of love sounds much better to me.
The spirits of the news are saying it's not up to them. The spirits only report the news as they see it happening.
God, this is looking pretty sad, or maybe happy.
Yes, maybe happy, but only if the followers become able to see the truth that lies within themselves.
Now, truth within themselves is pretty sad. Looking at oneself may be the most difficult thing to do.
The spirits of the news are saying it is sad, but we have to have faith in our children.
Yes, I believe the spirits of the news are right. We all have to believe in our children for the good of ourselves and everyone around us.
Oh, yes.
So that's it. You heard it here first at Fak'd TV. Spiritual news can be good for you. Don't believe the lies and work for what's right. And remember that the more you give, the more you get, and it's not the other way around.
That's right. You can't be a dog that chases its tail forever, digging a hole that goes straight to hell.
That is right, Buddha Mike, but you should have let us know in advance before you run off on a very well pointed out rant, and it's also true that I myself should have previously let you know about the special guest that will be on our show tonight. He may have some ideas on addressing this problem.
We can hope.
And now for our next story, Jeff is going to tell us about some very explosive people.
In the wake of the recent attack on Santa Fe High School in Texas, in which initial reports indicated that several explosive devices were used by the attacker, federal legislators have postponed the scheduled introduction of a bill to repeal the restrictions on individual ownership and use of explosives. NOMA, the National Ordnance and Munitions Association, has pushed strongly for the bill, saying that it helps to restore Americans' Second Amendment right to explosive devices, which has been unduly infringed under the 1934 National Firearms Act. NOMA Vice President Lane Wapier issued a statement. For too long, patriotic Americans have been unconstitutionally restricted from owning and using explosive devices that are necessary for self-defense and to preserve freedom. Recent experiences in Afghanistan and Iraq have clearly shown that IEDs and similar munitions are a vital part of the arsenal of a well-regulated militia, whether it's to fight off foreign invaders or an oppressive government. The founding fathers who drafted the Second Amendment clearly intended these arms to be available to every law-abiding citizen. Wapier even pointed to the 2016 use of a bomb by Dallas police as evidence that a good guy with a bomb may be the only thing other than a good guy with a gun that can stop a bad guy with a gun. And he called for the government to allow schools to arm their staff with explosives. If a deranged murderer knows that teachers in a school are armed with their own pipe bombs, they'll think twice before attacking, he said. We think the deterrent effect alone could save countless lives.
Oh, I would be afraid of guys running around with bombs too, that's for sure. If I was a terrorist and bombs.
You will note that every school shooting has happened in a school where teachers weren't allowed to have explosives.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And I got our next story, and this is not a story, but this is a product. Have you ever been having problem getting a good night's sleep? Are you troubled with disturbing dreams that wake you in the middle of the night? Do you roll around in bed all night unable to sleep because of the state of the world or financial problems or what you have to go through tomorrow at work? Well, fortunately for you, we at Oat No Co Products have a cure. It's the Ultimate Sleep Dreamer Pillow. That's right, the Ultimate Sleep Dreamer Pillow has been designed and is available right now. With our new pillow, you can now have the best dreams of your life every night. You never have to be disturbed by confusing, unwanted dreams for the rest of your life. No more rolling around in bed all night worrying about tomorrow, because with our all-new Ultimate Sleep Dreamer pillow, you will be able to program the dreams you want using our handy app. If you wish you were on a cruise or lazing on a beautiful beach in front of a turquoise waters, skiing down your favorite mountain, spending time and making love to the most pleasant and handsome man or woman you have ever met in your life, you can get there right now with our newly designed Ultimate Sleep Dreamer pillow. That's right. All you have to do is set the program in the pillow for the dream you want, and it generates soothing electrical waves to communicate with your brain's natural signals that take you to the programmed dream. The biggest problem with our pillow is that you may never want to wake up again. Imagine living the rest of your life in the most beautiful dreams you've ever imagined and never having to come back to the real world. Who would want to come back? Not me, that's for sure. But for real, you can program this pillow to gently bring your dream to a happy conclusion just in time so you can get up and start your day fully refreshed and ready to go to work. And what would a pillow and the most amazing dreams of your life be worth to you? If you think $59.95 is too much for you, then you'll have to keep living with those unwanted, disturbing dreams and restless sleep. But don't do it. Don't give up. Call Oh No Co Products and order that pillow and spend the rest of your life living the dream, the most beautiful dreams of your life.
You know, not to be the curmudgeon here, but I would be a little bit worried if I were deeply involved in an erotic dream and something happened and it just kept cycling over and over. I mean, how long can you go? I mean, I'm not a young man anymore, you know? I mean,
anyway, drinking has been the best exercise. It could be the best exercise in your life. And Mike has our next story for us.
Thank you, Greg. A recent study has been released by an interdisciplinary group of top doctors in which they conclude that drinking alcohol is far better and healthier than exercise for living a long and happier life. At a recent conference held in O'Malley's Pub in Houston, doctors from several of the city's top hospitals decided, while discussing broad health issues, that going to a gym and working out is far too stressful to your body and not conducive to a happy and healthy life. The doctors agreed unanimously that drinking alcohol with friends was much healthier. The owner of the bar, Liam O'Malley, heartily agreed with the doctor's statement and helped to write up this new health recommendation, as none of the doctors felt competent to type at the time that the discussion was concluded, just before last call. So if you want to live a long, happy, and healthy life, keep drinking and use internet taxis instead of wearing yourself out walking.
Sounds like good advice.
This is Darwin all over. I mean, survival of the fittest, you know? Yes, alcohol kills brain cells, but it's going to kill the weak ones first, leaving a stronger concentration of smarter ones in your head. I know for myself, when I drink, I sound a lot smarter. I mean, trust me.
That sounds convincing to me.
It does. He says very convincing.
Yeah, are we going to argue with a group of top doctors?
No, not at all.
Not on this one.
We're going to have a drink after the show tonight. All right. And Jeff, you got a very interesting story for us.
Getting away a bit from drinking, we've been hearing viewers call in to report signs of spring. Perhaps one of the most popular signs is the chorus of spring peepers. It's really nice to see and hear these lovely, slimy little creatures appearing and gracing our marshes, swamps, and waterways when the weather warms up. It's an especially nice part of living in this beautiful, mountainous country of Vermont, where life is so simple that a frog can even take the main focus on the cover of our local newspaper. However, it may happen to be the truth that life is not always as simple and idyllic as it seems. A recent warning from the Vermont Department of Health cautions frog enthusiasts that certain species of these delightfully harmless, slimy little creatures appear not to be as harmless as they seem. Based on a growing number of reported incidents, it appears that some species of frogs living in our beautiful mountain state have unaccountably developed a very highly hallucinogenic slime. This slime protects the frogs by being very hazardous to predators. We've received a number of suggestive rumors, but none as clear as the report we received after a recent front-page picture of a frog appeared in a local newspaper. After the picture appeared, an anonymous person called in to report watching the very same newspaper photographer through binoculars while they were bird watching, and seeing the photographer hold up and actually lick the frog after the pictures had been taken. The anonymous caller said he was surprised and in shock with what he had witnessed. As he continued to spy on the photographer, he witnessed the photographer himself start turning into and acting like a wild animal as the hallucinogenic goo took effect. After seeing this, the witness told us he had enough and had no desire to be part of or witness what might happen next. Then left the forest and immediately thought to call and notify us, thinking that we are the type of people that would be interested in a story like this. Yes, oh yes, he was right. That's why you heard it here first at Fak'd TV News. Where else and what other news station could you find out about hallucinogenic frogs? So if you happen to be interested in finding the location of these hallucinogenic frogs, call us now at Fak'd TV News for our exclusive map and interactive report.
Thank you very much, Jeff. And that was hallucinogenic frogs.
Yeah. Go to a bog and suck on a frog. How's that?
A frog. Yeah, I heard about mushrooms before, but not frogs. That's something new to me.
Some swamps people aren't going to want drained.
Okay, and for my next story, a recently leaked preview obtained by Fak'd TV News indicates that the EPA, under Director Scott Pruitt, will restore the page on the agency's website discussing the effects of global climate change. The Environmental Protection Agency was criticized when, shortly after President Trump's inauguration, the agency removed its information page, web page about climate change, an information page that had been in existence and continually updated for almost 20 years. The leaked preview indicates that the Environmental Protection Agency is in the process of rebuilding a web page that will admit the existence of climate change and will highlight its effects on American interests. Topics to be covered include improved polar navigation with reduced ice packs, longer growing seasons, reduced winter heating bills, warmer water for swimming, and higher sea levels that will flood low-lying coastal regions that tend to vote for those low-life Democrats.
Sounds very positive.
I think it may be very positive. We're on a roll. Might as well keep it going here. Hey, Jeff, you got a fishy scandal going on here.
Our sources are everywhere, and our latest insider information comes all the way from Sweden, where an informant is blowing the whistle on the government's cover-up of a possible environmental crisis that could have an impact on American candy enthusiasts. Our source informs us that the government is denying the existence of a rapid decline in Swedish fish catches, likely resulting from a combination of overfishing and pollution. Our source warns that there may soon be a severe shortage of the tasty, chewy candies, but that the government is covering up the story in an attempt to avoid panic buying. Fak'd TV News checked with the Swedish Department for Fisheries Management and confirmed for ourselves that the government officials are denying the existence of a Swedish fish shortage. Even more astounding, the department claims that they have no jurisdiction over Swedish fish, claiming that the candies are not actually made from real fish. They further tried to convince our investigator that those candies distributed in the United States are not even made in Sweden, but are actually made in Turkey by Mondelez International. This may be yet another example of European hardliners blaming Muslim countries for their domestic problems. But in any case, it is clear that the Swedish government is attempting to conceal any knowledge of the existence of this reported drop in fish population. Candy enthusiasts should be thankful that at least one brave Swede is risking the wrath of the government to bring this story to light. Thank you, Astrid, wherever you are, and may you stay safe. I mean, they say Swedish right on them.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more obvious than that.
No,
But-
it doesn't.
I'm wondering about a conspiracy. If you think about it, what's another Scandinavian country very near? Finland. Fin. Think of it. Fin. Every fish has fins. I think there's something to that.
It's possible he's getting to something. I'm not that smart to figure that out, though. And Mike, you got our next story.
After the latest of school shootings in Santa Fe, Texas, assault rifle owners everywhere across the country are now breathing a sigh of relief. Just knowing that none of their beloved assault rifles or semi-automatic pistols were used to kill innocent young students in the shooting is a reason to celebrate, knowing that the weapons they hold so dear to their hearts cannot be falsely blamed for the death of another child. It's sad that those kids got shot, said Bob Trigger Nimrod, one assault weapon enthusiast who spoke with a Fak'd news reporter on the scene. The school children are going to die. It's much better if they're killed with older technology. The pump-action shotgun and double-action revolver are 19th century technology, for goodness sakes. It would be worse if these tragic deaths were going to be exploited to push for a ban on my right to own state-of-the-art semi-automatic guns. Gun owner Hunter Lovelace agreed, if there's one small ray of hope for those families in the wake of this terrible event, it's knowing that their loved ones weren't killed with assault weapons, so their murders won't be used to push for more restrictions on semi-automatics with large capacity magazines. She said, when I first heard the news, I hoped and prayed that the killer didn't use a semi-automatic, and God answered. I was so relieved.
That's a relief.
So hopes and prayers do work, it appears.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll have to keep them hopes and prayers and moments of silence coming. And now what's coming next is a big monster, big scary monster is on the way. Jeff, you got it.
Due to the never-ending leakage of radioactive materials deep across the ocean floor from the Fukushima power plant, fears have been spreading across Japan that the leaking radioactive material may possibly awaken the long-resting Gojira, or Godzilla as this creature is known to Americans. Top kaijuologists have documented the monster's close association with radioactivity and are concerned that the increased levels of radioactive waste spread across the sea bottom may cause him to rise again out of the ocean to cause massive amounts of death and destruction through the next unfortunate city. After disappearing into the ocean in the late 1960s, Japanese civilians have had a respite from the sleeping monster. Even a widespread defamatory 1998 movie did not raise the creature from its slumber. However, rumors of sightings and several out-of-focus pictures have been reported to suggest it is possible that Godzilla may be on the roam again. From reports coming in from cruise ships and fishing boats, it appears that he may have been seen heading towards Hawaii. The Navy is on the alert and searching right at this moment, and top volcanologists are anxious to study whether the recent volcanic eruption of the Kilauea volcano may be linked to the monster's activity. The National Enquirer is right now at this moment trying to get ahead of us on this story, but thanks to our dedicated on-the-scene Fak'd TV news reporters, we are expecting to be the first on the scene when Godzilla rises from the ocean depths.
Wow. Yeah. We're gonna
Should
have
make
the
for
first reply.
beautiful news coverage.
Yeah, and we'll have great pictures and everything.
For
With the
sure.
Flames
For sure.
coming out of his mouth. I love when he
Yeah.
makes buildings explode when the flames come out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And stuff like that is cool. Cards go
You know,
flying all
when he
over the place.
pulls the city's high tension wires down.
It's like back in the old
Maybe-
days.
Maybe we can get Mothra back involved too. You know,
And I hear
remember
the molten lava from the volcanoes does not
Ah.
affect this guy. He walks
Right.
right through that hot stuff. It's pretty amazing. Godzilla is a wild guy. He's a wild monster, not a guy. From that God, we're going straight to another God because we have a very special guest for you right here tonight and what looks likely to be the chance of a lifetime for me, for you, for everybody. Because the man we have here with us tonight, right now, tonight, has walked through the valley of death and has come out the other side and straight into our studios here at Fak'd TV News. He is the one, the only master who denies disaster, fights evil, and whoops the devils behind from here to kingdom come. He is the one, the only, Jesus Christ. So Jesus, what's it like to be back walking on this earth with all your skin and bones intact?
Well, I have to tell you, Gregory, it's a bit disappointing that I had to do this. To come back on earth, to leave my home in heaven floating on clouds with the streets of gold and all, to get back into the flesh and take on human form again and land on this sin-plagued planet. But sometimes a God's got to do what a God's got to do.
Could you possibly extrapolate on this for us, Jesus?
Well, yes, I can, Gregory. I've been trying my best not to get involved too overtly with what's been going on down here on Earth. But it's got to the point where sending angels down to help out and do the work here, and they're just, it ain't cutting it. They become a bit overwhelmed and have gotten totally lost on how to fix things.
So, the angels just aren't cutting it with the dispatch and the sinner thing, huh?
No, they aren't.
That must be terribly disturbing for a God like you.
Yes. And which I find disappointing to admit to you and everyone else on Earth. But I cannot tell a lie. They've been trying their best, but unfortunately their best ain't good enough. The work they do can only cover so much.
Only covers so much, huh? Please tell us what it is that you're so disappointed about.
Well, from what I've been watching on my cloud screen, Christians across the ununited states have lost their ability to know the difference between lies and truth.
Is that a fact?
Yes, that is a fact. And Christians have turned lies into what they believe is the truth, which has become a very disturbing set of circumstances, if you ask me.
Yes, we are asking you, and we need you to help us out to try to steer our Christian society back into the right direction, where the truth is the truth and the lies are the lies, not the other way around.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do by showing up here at Fak'd TV News. I have to tell you also that pride, greed, lust, anger, and gluttony are not character attributes Christians should be applauding and feeling good about. Which is what I've been watching happen these days. These are all sins good Christians should be repenting for. Good Christians need to fight the devil and not be applauding, praising, and raising him up to a higher level.
So that is sad that this has happened, but what are we supposed to do?
Well, what must be done? It's that Christians need to go back to living in the ways that I've taught them from the beginning of Christianity, and stop straying into the ways of the devil just because they think it sounds and looks cool. What I've taught you all from the beginning is to be kind and help others that are less fortunate than you, to show love and compassion to those that need help, and to not build walls to keep them away.
We can't keep them away?
No, we can't. We all need to serve and be faithful to the true message I am teaching. To learn to love each other in peace and harmony. We all need to praise and be thankful for what we have and share it with others. For the only way we can keep what we have is by giving it away. And the more we give, the more we get. There is a heaven on earth, and it is within us all. Giving love makes love, and it can grow exponentially. Giving hate makes more hate that creates an endless downward spiral. There is a hell within us all as well, but we don't have to go there. We all have a choice. We can all be freed in love to grow, or consumed by greed to die alive.
Sounds like greed needs to die.
Yes, Gregory. Greed in all its forms needs to be suppressed. It's It's impossible to end all the hatred, but if we can end the praising of hatred, it would be a very positive start. Can you help me with that?
Yes, I've already started, and I'll do all I can do. So help me God.
Well, thank you, Gregory.
Well, there you have it, from the source. And Fak'd TV News, live to love and give love. It's the only thing that matters in this world, Christian or not. Well, thank you, Jesus, for coming back to relay your 2018-year-old message with us.
You're welcome, Gregory. I'm happy to be of service. So you people out there, keep love alive. And you can only keep it by giving it away. Free love and caring is the abhorrent of hatred and greed.
Thank you. Well, that's it for our show. This is Gregory Higgins, and I'd like to thank you for taking your time to watch our news tonight. So you guys at home, ladies and children of all ages, sizes, colors, and ethnicities. When the story's too good to wait for the facts, Fak'd TV News on Unorthodox Sales brings you the news as we see fit. May you all enjoy a good, clean life, and remember to be honest as the spirit that lives within you. Have a great day and a good night until next time. Mike, could you say good night?
Good night, viewers.
Hey, Jeff, could you say good night?
Good night, everyone.